Hey, what's up, guys? Back from the deck profile here. Now, we're currently watching the YCS Houston stream. I wanted to kind of upload this. I'm not sure if it's going to take because my phone battery, not the phone battery, but the memory space is trashed. So I got really bored, probably like most of the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and I decided to learn Crystron. It took me about a day. The deck is very insane, and I might not, say things certainly, the way that I should say them, and I know the Crystron community will fucking, it's also like one of those cult decks, which I really enjoy the deck. I think the deck is super insane, and I love how I played it and how it was put together. So, without further ado, I have some honorable mentions. Let's get right on to it, bro. I played 60, as one does. I think there was a lot of room for aggressive expansion, I guess, for the deck, especially at 60. All right, so I'm going to go through these. I'll briefly explain them. Resol Fafnir card. It's kind of like Teus, the Mermail one. This I kind of equate this deck to Mermails in a certain sense. I know people will tell me I'm wrong, but it kind of plays. It feels like that to me. But this card's in hand or graveyard. You can discard a Crystron card and then revive it and then destroy one card you control. If it's destroyed by that, effect or whatever the fuck, you can summon a Crystron dude from the deck. Which this card is just absolutely insane. This is the Fedora. This card you can target a Crystron card in the field, destroy it, and then specialist whenever it's, and then it locks you into machine monsters. It doesn't lock you into machine synchros, which some of the cards do. The Sol Fafnir doesn't lock you into anything. The Sol Fedora locks you into machine monsters if you use the first effect. The second effect, whenever it's normal or special summon, you can dump 2 Crystron cards from deck to graveyard. Both level 5 water machines. If I get some of this wrong, I'm sorry. I apologize. One of my favorite cards in the deck, the Smigeys. This kind of reminds me of the Lion in Watchmen. They got obliterated with Dr. Manhattan, but this thing, it's 1,000 attack. If it's in graveyard, you can manage it to add a Crystron spell or trap. Also, the smaller ones, these ones too, the Tritherion, I know people usually play one of this, but they usually also play 40. Even in 60, I think you should play this, but a lot of these, which I'll just paint up to you right now, these all have the same first effect where you can pop a card and then summon a Crystron tuner from deck, and then it locks you into machine synchros from the extra deck that turn. All 3 of these share that. This one you can manage from graveyard, and it adds a Crystron Speller Trap, which is insane. It's the only one you can make with Clockwork Knight outside of the Parastois. And then the Tritherion, I think that's how you pronounce it. I wish this card's stats were the same as, the fucking Smiger, but it's not. I also, I think every list that I saw when I was researching this, shout out to 037 Tiger, I believe. He does a lot of Crystron content with the adventure stuff. I really enjoyed his channel. Make sure you check him out. He's got a lot of subs, so you probably heard of him. But I really enjoyed this deck. I'm playing like kind of off the wall ratios because I was kind of using them as training wheels to kind of learn the deck. I know people in this community will tell me that I'm terrible for playing multiples of these, but there's reasons for it. And also multiples of these. But obviously Smiger is the 1-card combo, or however you want to get to it with the blah blah blah. But Clockwork Knight makes it, and then you play the Citri. You have to play this card. I think this is kind of like a during it's the worst one, I think. But during your opponent's main or battle phase, you can target 1 in graveyard, a Crystron monster, summon it back in synchro with just the one you summoned back. Which, I mean, it's kind of mid, but also on your opponent's turn, you need the other tuner, because the Stratos, whatever the fuck, he can't summon himself with his own effect while he's on the board. If your opponent activates a card effect, he can special summon a Crystron monster from the deck and then immediately synchro with that one and among cards on the board. So he doesn't just need to do it like Citri with just the one he summoned. He can be whatever. He also has the Grave effect. It's like Inferno Launcher, where you can banish it and pop any synchro monster, which I want to talk about, and then summon 2 Crystrons from deck. You can summon himself with that effect if you need to. And then for the other stuff that this is one of the things that really drew me to this deck, was I really wanted to play fucking Terratop. Shout out to Cody Rainey. Also, I forgot to mention that, paint up to me real quick, was he had a bunch of the commons for this deck, and I was like, hey dude, let me get them. He was like, yeah, dude, I happen to have 6 of each. And I was like, broken. I love you, brother. I hope you watch this. So 3 Terratop and 1 Take It Tom Borg. We are playing other supporting engines in here for it, but I am playing. This is one of the other things that really drew me to it was the 3 Tidal, because Tidal plus any water is combo. And then we have the Horus engine I was playing. So obviously the Take It Tom Borg combos with the Happy, that's ass, but like you could do it. One thing I want to talk about, which I'm going to talk about with these 2 later. I forgot I didn't mention the extra deck yet. If you guys can tell, I'm kind of sauced. And then I do play hand traps. I was playing 3 Droll, 3 Ash, 3 Perilia, 3 Mulcharmy, and 3 Nib. Fuck it. I mean, the Perilia is a water, so that's good. For the Tidal and shit, so you can combo. And then for the spells, like I said, I was playing 60, so the Grass, the Foolish. I love being able to play Foolish and Grass in the same deck along with Tidal, because you don't really get to play Foolish anymore, I feel like. It's not really a card that comes up a lot. And obviously Called by the Grave, and then the 3 Inclusion. This card's insane. On activation, it adds a Crystron monster. The first time your Crystron dudes will be died by battle. They don't. And then you can banish it from graveyard, target a guy, and it reborns it. Kind of like a Symbol Skeleton. You can only activate one of these per turn, so, once it gets off the board, you just have to, if you open multiple claws, you have to hold it for the following turn. The card's insane, though. And then 3 King Sark. Like I said, I used kind of the Horus engine as, like, training wheels, I guess, just to see what I could do with the deck, and I really enjoyed it, because I think this list is very clean. And then we have the 3 Droplet, 3 Talents, and the 1 Cluster, the Clusterfuck card. This card's unreal. I mean, I have 0 to say about it. This card is just broken. So, and then for the extra dip, we got the Clockwork Knight. Shout out my brother Devin for the Europrint one. And then we have another thing about this with playing Terratop and the Take It Tom Borg was I got to play Changing, which was insane. Not Changing, Jesus, Cherubini, yeah. I've been drinking since 6:10 in the morning. Little Knight, these are the only 3 Link monsters I play. This was something else, I can't even remember what it is, but I have a couple honorable mentions. And then shout out to Devontae for letting me borrow his Dawn Dragster. Mine actually just came in the mail about 15 minutes ago. And then 2 of the Skeletos. This card's Skeletus. This card's insane. So your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack and defense. Or maybe it's just attack. It doesn't fucking matter. But when it's Synchro Summon, it adds back a Crystron card from grave or banished to hand. And then when it's destroyed, it summons 1, targets and summons 1 from banished or graveyard, I believe. We only just use it in the combo. But I also really enjoyed playing the Samurai Destroyer. This is the kind of the card that combats Nib, and if you play against U-Battle, the card's insane. And then we have the Crystron Quandrax. This card's insane. 2 tuners and 1 non-tuner. That's part of your end board, but it vanishes. It targets monsters your opponent control on their field and or graveyard up to the number of materials that was used. So, excuse me, it always is 3. It's 3K, so you always summon it in defense. One thing to note is you can pop it with the trap if you have to, just to make it resolve, because this card pops anything, and then you can pop, you know what I mean. I don't really have to go into depth with it. People know what I'm talking about. And then one thing that's super funny about this card that I'm going to mention in one segment is because I play Changing, is because we play the Tristaros with the Horus engine. You can actually make these 2, or one of these 2 in Tristaros into Changing, right? And you can banish the Changing from graveyard to kill this, or you can save it by banishing another card, or you can just let it die, and then the Tristaros will summon 2 Crystrons, and then you can full combo. Or, if you're playing into a board, you can just banish it, protect itself by banishing another card, then use its effect, and banish 1 from their board and 1 from grave. But one thing that's kind of cool in this deck was, since we play Tidal, we can actually use this card early in the game, and then if it does go to graveyard, we can banish it with Tidal to summon back Tidal, and then if the Quandrax dies, it special summons any banished monster, so you can actually special this back. So I thought that was really interesting. I really enjoyed this, because like sometimes I'd see this hand and like no other things, and I'm like, wow, If this resolves, do I zombie vamp? Like, you know what I mean? Add Sark, you know, but either way, I just had to, you know. And then the Nova, which goes with the Mechaba, you know, if they whatever the fuck on this gets summoned. The Infinity Shot Devon, and then the Zombie Vamp, the Typhon, and the Zeus. Fun fact, some of these lock you into just machines. I think it's the Fedora card, the level 5 one, and I think it's just Tristaros lock you into just machines, with some of them lock you into the fucking synchro machines for their first effect by popping a face-up card, which I forgot to mention with the Tortoise and the Tristevern and the the Smyger. They all do that. Pop a face-up card, summon a tuner from deck, and then you're locked into the synchro machines. But if you're locked into machines, you can still make Zeus. That was kind of my point there. And then I have a couple things I want to talk about real quick. Was there's a room for Karakuri, I think, in this list. I haven't play tested with it yet, but I think I could. I think it's something that I could do. And then these were just cards that I pulled aside. The turn skip card, the Rosenix, the Regulus with the Sargus, which, you know, obviously the Horus monsters make this, and then you can search Sargus, and then you battle, because it's a machine too, and then make Zeus over top of this. And then the Photon Lord, the Catastrophe. I still don't really understood this card, but I guess I get it. And then the, you know, this shit's trash. I've never, and then the Centurion card. This card's very good. It's kind of like Desiree in a sense. I'm not a huge fan of the mech card, and then we have the Coral Dragon with the Adventurer stuff. I personally think that if you were playing Adventurer, it means you're just a lot better with the deck. You know what I mean? Maybe, but I still think Illegal Knight's just like an insane card. But, you know, since we're playing Tidal, it makes sense. But also in the same thing, there's very many combos with it. Also, a couple of things I missed out on was level 9, the Croc. Because you make Croc with the Phantasme if you played it, the Tidal, or the Castier Engine if you played it. And then you could play the Lancia in the General. Shout out Grant. You know, because the Horus engine plus Tristaros makes a Lancia. And then we could also make the rank 5 River Stormer, search Regulus if you wanted to. Obviously, Dark Strike Fighter's the time card, and then we could play Crossout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.